Welcome to the heavy spoiler.
Okay, and then play back this. So that's the play along, and then VFX. Okay, forget how to hear this because it's not as obvious. There we go. All right, let's go here. Live editing the next music video. Share here. Martin. At some point, totally gonna get this chat box stuff out. I think I can pull it from this. Can't imagine why not. Let's see. Test. Nope. That. What do you do for Streambot? I have to do chat box stream alerts. There we go. Okay. We're just gonna poke around where the chat. Cloudbot. No. I change it for Twitch. That's the. If not. Browser source. Hey, Crescendo, how are you doing? Sorry, I'm just fixing up a little bit of my streaming since I don't normally use YouTube. Let's try YouTube chat, and we'll see if this works magically. If it does, that'll be lovely. If not, I'll just get back to work. All right, let's see. Test one more time here. Nope. That's okay. I just somehow thought that would magically. Stream elements. Okay, so it's here. So they do youtube.com/live chat is pop out. Okay. There we go. Okay, now I just have to change the resolution to way bigger. But we're just about to get started here. And what's fun about this video is there's a few different changes. So if anyone's watching the VOD and fast forwarded, wanted to hear me talk about the video properly. Hey, hi Z, how are you doing? Happy Saturday, everybody. Yeah, so this is a video editing stream. I've been doing a few more of these, and I'm going to try to get the majority of my work done in one stream so these become very useful. But yeah, this is going to be a walkthrough. It's all about question and answers, ideas, thoughts, suggestions, kind of sharing how I've been editing videos lately. And this is both my process and what I do for all of my clients now. Split screen, a lot of different people who I get to edit videos for. So, you know, it's not the best way. It's just my current way. And any questions about any aspect of it, I think is a great way to spend the stream. You know, just discussing and answering. I'm also going to make sure I'm not clipping here in volume. So I'm going to turn that down. And, okay, the last thing I was going to do is fix this really ugly thing I've done to my layout here. Filters, that's what I was looking for. And then we just need crop. And then I'm just going to subtract with 500, nope. 50 and 50. Why does that feel like it's we're almost there. But yeah, how's everyone doing? Anything new? Hey, MGR, I'm doing pretty well. Happy Saturday. Switch this over here so I don't have to bend over. But yeah, what's new? Anyone playing any cool games or doing anything interesting? That looks good enough. We're just gonna like up by like 300. Okay, that feels acceptable. Again, this is just my ugly, not streaming on YouTube too much approach. That way I can see the chat. Okay, you're healthy, and if you're enjoying the stream or figure someone or Discord you're in might benefit from this, please feel free to share. So, what we're doing today is we are video editing a metal song. This is from the game HADES 2. It's a cover I made with my wife Allison on vocals. It's, I guess, mild spoilers from the second area, and it is kind of like a pseudo hard rock, sort of punky type of track by a game band called Scylla and the Sirens. So yeah, this is basically how I edit my videos normally, but with a lot of Q&A and a lot of different like experimenting. I never have like a consistent method. So the first thing I kind of want to share in the process is this is my project layout in Adobe Premiere. I don't need this narrative here, but these are all my clips, and if I full screen them, kind of see what's going on. Playing Minecraft in hardcore world until a creeper appeared and blew me. It's yeah, that is my biggest fear of playing Minecraft and not creative mode. Yeah, so I shot a bunch of clips here, which we have loaded up. I shot them on pretty much my main camera. There's a few cool things that I think are worth showing, things that like you will not see on the average cover video, if that's even such a generalization I can fairly make. But we have a few tripod shots. We have a handheld shot. That's usually the one that I lean on the most. And then we have a macro lens. This one was kind of fun to use. And as you can kind of see, it's basically a really close-up kind of lens. It makes things look way bigger. The blurry bokeh and effects of the lens are really cool and really unique. So it's not something you see normally, and therefore I think it's worth including, in the video. And then you can kind of see like we have a lot of like weird angles and stuff. It's gonna be very like in your face that way. And then of course we have a few shots that I shot with Allison. Some are close up, and there's gonna be a lot of funny pausing. And then yeah, like the magic of course is going to be coloring, lighting, some of the effects and the overlays and things. So we have like a few shots of just the bridge, and then we did full playthroughs. So I'll play back the song and we'll mimic what we played in the recordings. And then if you screw up or mess up for any reason, you add it later. What's also kind of cool and worth showing off in the first bit here, you can see in the background there's this RP going on, and then a bunch of lights and blurs, and that's all fun. What I did was I made basically like a background to put on my monitor during the video shot. So while we're in the studio room, sometimes I like having like video game footage or something, but here I created this in Blender, a little scene that's kind of like a tribute to the game. So there's like an underwater look to it. There's my logo. There's like some underwater like castle-y structures, stone structures going on here. And then there's this looping, what's called a water caustic, or just like that wavy pattern. And I gotta drop my volume. The song is so darn loud. But yeah, I thought that would be really cool to have in the background, just to like make it really feel like we're underwater. And why is my two headphones here? So yeah. Such a mess. That little dress looks like it's for. So yeah, we end up having like a really cool loop in the background, and there's not too much effects on this. It's basically and then we have the caustics, and then on top of that I added Magic Bullet Looks, which is a plugin I use for anything from colors and like final grading to color effects and camera effects that you can do in post, and there's just like a little bit of haze there. So that's kind of how this song was shot, which is just as important. And what I'm hoping to do, of course, is make like a video guide for self-shooters like myself who do the music and also have to do the videos. So that's kind of why I wanted to share how it's shot. I think it's almost just as or more important to talk about like the camera stuff and how you got your shots than it is to talk about the edit, even though this is an editing stream. And again, if you have any questions about anything at all, just stop me. But we're gonna dive right into the next fun part of the process, which is yeah, how do we make a music video? So the first thing I do, as always, when I have all my clips and they're nice and labeled, not only that, I go to proxies, which is basically a substitute, cheaper, crappier version of your footage. So if you select all your footage in Premiere or in DaVinci Resolve or whatever that supports it, you can hit create proxies and then make worse versions of your footage. And then we can toggle them on with this button here, and it's easier on the machine. Yes, I did the background in Blender, and yeah, I've been learning Blender on and off for about like a year or 2 years now, and Unreal Engine 5 as well. So I'm not comfortable enough like showing too much of that, and it's also really hard to run. And I've actually run into an issue where Blender is crashing. So I wanted to pull it up right now and just share like how I did this. I don't think it's gonna let me. Can I make a suggestion for next video tutorials? Yes, absolutely, please. Let me see if I can pull up Blender, and if not, I'll just keep going. But I would love to share how I made that background. Sure. And again, all of the suggestions are great because I do want to make one large video that explains kind of this process just as much as, just as much as I want to keep streaming and kind of practice talking about this and seeing what people want to learn, especially. But yeah, I keep running into a lot of weird issues here um, with Blender right now. And I think it's because some aspect of Blender has broken in the newest version. But I used a very new version to do something in Blender, which is displacement. And okay, config, I'm going to get rid of user prefs, which should allow me to run Blender, and then I will here, and I'm not going to import my preferences. I think that's what's messing it up. So yeah, here's Blender. It's a fun, free program that I recommend everyone kind of look at. Ooh, can you say and overlay the keyboard shortcuts? Yes, that is a fantastic question. I actually think I have key something. No, I think there's a lot of different programs that can let me do that, and I will 100% get one of those. Let's see. Input overlay. Yeah, that's a fantastic suggestion, and I want to make sure I have a way to do that. Yeah, do you also edit in Premiere by chance? Because I know not a lot of people do now, and a lot of my shortcuts are going to be helpful for people who use the same program. Okay, so we might have to do that next time, because I thought I had an app for it. DaVinci Resolve. All right, nice. The main reason, of course, I don't use Resolve right now is just because I'm a power user for After Effects, so I really do need. But I'm going to try to stream with both and just share the knowledge that can be applied to both. A couple months later, I searched how to do a music video for a Five Nights at Freddy's cover I was working on and found a video by yourself. It was uploaded 9 years ago. Oh my gosh. No. So I have a second channel with some new video tutorials, but I just haven't had a lot of people like in my Discord or just in general asking for music video guides until very recently. And then I moved across the country, so I got a little busy. But I really do want to make like a 30-minute, really funny, like fun, helpful music video guide that'll explain everything, including like, 3D graphics, VFX, like where to start. Anyway, let me quickly share how I did. I think this project should be okay to load. Okay, so this is Blender, and I'm going to try to explain it as someone who's still learning, of course. So Blender is a 3D modeling and rendering and, program. It works with 3D graphics, and that itself should be enough of an explanation for, hopefully most people who are just unaware. But it's capable of doing a lot of different things, but the main thing that we can do is kind of virtually take a camera and film or take photos of different scenes. And if you're on Spotify right now, or Apple Music or anything, you can see that I just released the song that we are editing, and it should. Where is it? I don't like this layout because it's not showing a song that just came out. So if I click here, you can see, hopefully, the artwork. Come on. Anyway, I made this in Blender, so that's part of the reason why I wanted to start sharing this with the video side. But yeah, so this program can be used to put in 3D objects, models, text, special effects, particles, dust, and you can create amazing 3D scenes. So what I did here is basically I created a little scene that I thought might, remind me of the game, but basically something that could be cool in the camera. Yeah, I showed your tutorial on multicam editing and proxies to a bunch of pixel mixers a couple months ago, and their minds was blown. I'm glad. So I have a, I want to really help a lot of people, especially like Pixel Mixer folks and VGM folks, move away from the split videos where they have a million screens of themselves and just focus on single shots and do multicam, because like I'm talking a lot right now, but our video is going to take me less than 30 minutes to cut. And people are spending so much time loading in clips and layering and doing the grids and editing, and that can be, not only is it a harder process, but it's harder on your computer, and a lot of people don't really necessarily enjoy like the look of it. You know, it's just the thing that everyone does because in our minds that's the normal thing to do. And yeah, you should be able to cut a video together in a short amount of time if you come up with a good game plan. But anyway, this is this Blender stuff is a little bit extra and outside of that, because this took me, you know, an hour or so. I came up with a scene that I thought would look cool from the game, and I made a floor, and I went online and downloaded texture that I thought would be really cool for it. And if I go to shading, you can see it here. So there's like a brick floor. You can just Google what's called a PBR texture. I don't remember what PBR stands for, but essentially just like in a video game, we have the color of the image, and then we have pictures of the image that highlight certain aspects of it. Something called a normal map, which can show, let's see, no, this is complex to look at. Over here, you can see the difference in the colors. It tells the computer how tall or how low the texture is. And for rocks, you know, they have a lot of bumps. So essentially all of these different pictures come together and explain, you know, how rough and rugged this should look, how tall it is. So when you download it and put it into Blender, it knows how to kind of create an image. I added a seashell because of the character is this underwater siren, this very scary demonic looking creature. I put my logo, which I have created in 3D, and I can do a tutorial on how to do that eventually. And then I just found some free drum kits and guitar amps. And then I put a camera in the scene, which is somewhere around here. And just like in real life, I put a bunch of lights. So if I click this button, you can see what the camera saw for my background. And I made it the same resolution as my monitor so that it would make sense. And then when I click here, it's going to add all the shading. This is all the textures. And this is excluding all the lights, but this way you can kind of see what I was going for. So, you know, you can move things around in 3D space and come up with a scene that looks cool. And you can even animate this. So if you wanted a music video, just, you know, you could use Blender, just have a camera spin around here, maybe move some lights. And then when I click this button, it's going to add the lights. And because it's using a render engine called Cycles, which is just a huge amount of information and algorithms and you know, coding that tells it, okay, lights should bounce like this, the shadows should be like this, and I'm oversimplifying, but it's much more realistic, and thus it is very difficult to depict. You know, when you hear stories of movies that get created, this is what's taking forever. You can see all these little dots that are populating because it's slowly creating the colors and all. But now you can see the ruggedness of the walls, the shadows in between the cracks, and it becomes much more interesting. Yeah, just to have a cylinder, and then with all these textures and information, the displacement, as they call it, where the rock goes from this flat wall to getting all these details and crevices, and it becomes beautiful and really cool. Anyway, so that's what I did in Blender. And that was the background that I could have on my screen while I played guitar. So the next step that we need to do when editing a music video like this is take all the music, or sorry, all the footage, and then all the music, and then we're going to select them all and hit create multi-camera source sequence. This is available in Resolve, it's available in Premiere, many other editors. And then what we're going to do is we're going to synchronize based on the audio, and then we can use the mixdown, which is just all of the audio across all of our clips. And I'm going to call this file multicam_claw. The song, of course, is I'm going to claw your eyes out. then drown you to death. Very positive message. And then it's going to process and basically try its best to line up everybody. If you set your camera up correctly and you have the audio going and it's all very easy for the computer, sometimes I like using a click track when playing back my music, so it's very easy for the computer to hear those like clicks and align it. Then you get a beautiful multicam file, and if we right click and open in timeline, you can see what it literally did is the thing that I used to spend forever lining up slowly, and it's horrible. It's a pain in the butt. So if you can avoid it, avoid it. Then I'm going to mute all the camera audio. All we need is my mastered final music. And then what I like to do is go to the beginning, and I'm going to put a marker with M. Or you can just right click here and click insert add marker. And you can even label this and call it intro. And then we can go through the song. I'm mixing up the two silent songs. And then what I like to do is I'm holding Alt and dragging this over. And this way I can see, oh, that's the intro. And you can use this as a great logical organizer. You know where the song starts and ends. It's really nice that way. And then again, if you're popping in and you're just curious what's going on, if you have questions, thoughts, discussion questions on music videos or anything, please stop me and let me know. Anyway, so this is what our multicam file looks like. And it's not a timeline exactly. It's still like a special clip full of clips. It's like a folder. So we're going to make a timeline, which is what every single video editor uses to actually put your clips together, individual video files and so on. And I'm going to call this _main_timeline. I keep it kind of boring and easy to find later. You can see there's one here called Instagram text. This is actually a preset that I've started using since Adobe added a sort of like template maker, which is really nice. So if I want to quickly make an Instagram sized version, I can just, throw a random part of the song, adjust my size here, and, eventually I can edit it. Of course, we haven't edited each other. Anyway, so now we have a timeline. I'm gonna delete a bunch of empty tracks just so it's easier to look at. And because I have the extra space on my monitor, I'm gonna see. Nope. Fake. Okay. So we can make the screen a little bit bigger, and now I can zoom into my video, make it larger. And then, what the heck? It's black. I had so many clips. What's going on? Well, we're gonna click toggle multicam view, and now this is the view that we will enjoy, while we work on stuff. So I can do all sorts of cool stuff at the beginning. I can just try something here. We can make this video more of an event. When I say event, what I mean is the way you introduce a video in that first 5 seconds, people are going to get an impression of what you're about. So something like that. And what I've basically done is, I did that really fast, is as we have our, let's call it track highlighted with this blue highlight here, when you have a multicam file, we're allowed to basically click any of these windows or type on your keyboard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever the number of that video is, and choose which clip to actually cut to. So I will do one thing really quickly. When we need to change the colors of the itself, back to the multicam folder, look for the clip that color correct, and I shot this, I think not in, I think it was default color. So yeah, this shot here is a little dark, and normally this is a separate kind of process called color correction, where we will make sure our colors are sort of balanced out, neutralized. Yep, you can just switch between it. So the way people do like live concerts is very similar, where they'll have all the shots and they'll just choose between them. The way people do multicam editing on television is similar. You know, they'll have a shot with multiple cameras going at the same time, and then the director and the editor can choose between different angles to tell their story better, or maybe even cover up mistakes or whatever. So I'm just doing a very like color correction, kind of make so that looks good. So this is a process that's a completely separate art called color correction, not grading. And this basically makes it easier for me to not only look at the image, but I can see the colors and all. It's an extension from a company called Red Giant. So I use their subscription for some really, really good and very intensive like VFX and graphics, since I do a lot of editing for other bands and BGM people and so on. It's been really handy to have that as like this very high quality, faster method of color correcting. I will say, like, if you use DaVinci Resolve, their built-in colors, that menu is so much more powerful than anything else. But it is also not beginner friendly, so it's very easy to like just destroy footage or to correct and make incredibly like high quality footage. What I like about that plugin I use, Colorista, is that it's guided, so it walks you through each aspect of the picture really well. But yeah, so what we have here is there we go. Just like the intro, the most important part, the part where you click it, and if you're not impressed, you leave. So what I could do is have some generic metal glitch transition here, and we can click here. Yeah, it saves time, and it also makes sure I'm not doing this poorly. I'm following like a really good set of steps. So yeah, like we could open up with some close-ups here because the guitar is the only element you're listening to, and then we could put in the name of the song. I don't even know if I want to do that. And yeah, then we go to the next section. So what I'm going to do is basically like a rough cut. And this will be like me kind of observing what I think should be on screen during each part of the song. And, then I can think about transitions later, but it's a first pass. Yeah, so I like glitch effects for a lot of like modern metal sort of sounds, but then when the video is very like lens focused and very like creamy filmic looking, I like having transitions that are a little softer. So I'll use what's called like light leaks, flares, small things that can kind of cut between scenes. So song is starting up, so I can't stay away. It seems every day you keep coming. and like there, the chorus hits. I like having the chorus cut like immediately. So we've already cut 40 seconds of this 3-minute music video just by playing it and kind of feeling it. So it actually makes me feel more musical about my choices. You know, we can cut like cut da 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 cut da 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 cut da 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 cut ba da da, and you end up like watching it back and you're like, okay, these are like some timed choices, and you can switch it up. It doesn't have to be predictable. But there's also some of the choices I made. I can go over like there's a section where I'm doing a technique called thump on the guitar, similar to slap bass on bass, or thump on bass, and it uses the thump. Also, is this out of tune? Good enough. So yeah, like that is an effect that is very easy to hear in the song. So the average listener who knows nothing about music can hear something interesting going on, and visually, if I cut and I might even, you know, cut between the and like we can kind of cut between, but it's always really useful to have the singer shown as much as possible, especially in a song that has a lot of instrumental. And like here, I could probably have like, and like we're losing a little bit of focus, so I might. Yeah, it's a lot of choices, so it's a lot of decision making for even small sections of a song, which can be kind of fun. But that is the challenge, and that's why we just gotta soldier on. I am gonna pour out your eyes, then drown you dead. I am gonna pour out your eyes, then drown you to death. So yeah, sometimes so like with cutting that section, we have like a little bit of sustain from the vocal. And when stuff sustains, I like using that. So we could do like, and then we could cut immediately lead part. And even then I'm like, and boom, we're on verse 2. And I'm going to put a marker here. So like what we can already tell from the editing process is like, okay, these are the shots we actually got, and like this is how the energy of the song felt. If I were editing someone else's video that they sent me, and I don't know the song super intimately, that's also my opportunity to kind of like get a sense of the pace, and things like that. The song is not in 4/4 alone. It is in 11/4 during the verses, and then oh wait, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. Yeah, it is in 11/4 until the chorus. Then the chorus is in 4/4. So it, and I think the pre-chorus section may also be 11/4. It's a little tricky. Ew, you're such a mess. That little dress looks like it's from the garbage. Just like that hair, don't mean to stare. Were you aware? Looks like something died there. That's why you're jealous of me. And then that can't blame me for it. I would beat you if I were you. Too bad you must die. Yeah, I might switch how I did some of these things. So yeah, I like having the super close up, you can see the dust on the freaking picture. And yeah, like the I like hitting the starts of these phrases. And we might even cut to like I did something different with the rhythm guitars there. Very Spirit Box influence. The woo 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 da da woo woo. The low guitar string bends are kind of like cutting through a little there. So I felt like it's worth including that in the cut. Also, because the chorus is repeating right now, the audience has already seen like your default cuts. So I think it's worth switching that up so people feel like they're, you know, being introduced to new aspects of it. And yeah, some of this stuff is lasting a little long. Okay, I did not remember this monologue at all. So this is gonna be a fun section here. So what I can do is we're gonna copy over the shot of Allison singing that monologue, and then on the bottom I'm going to switch to like some of the guitar shots. And obviously you can't see them. The way video editors work, if you're like very new to this, is we have the highest footage on top first. It's kind of like pieces of paper, and we can't see below that. But if I change the way it's blended, it's kind of like how transparent it is or how it cuts. So it's fun. Dark and stung by a jellyfish, poked by an urchin, stabbed by a marlin, sawed by a sockfish, and crushed by calyptus, and slapped by a bass, sliced by a surgeon, clobbered by a carp, and I'm just gonna cut between the guitar angles here. So, and then what we can do to make this extra is I'm gonna add the lyrics on. Sliced by a surgeon, clobbered by a carp, and stung by hippocampus, and smacked by a knucklehead, poisoned by a scuffling, burned by a slug again. And then here we can cut the top footage, so we could have like a transition, and then bring this back to like. And then I did some crazy. And then I did a jump here, so like that'll be fun to kind of capture closer to. And then we have like this fade out. And because it's a fast, you know, metal, I think it's important for me to like keep the movement. Faster cuts. Like crossfade everywhere. And then another hard hit here. And we can kind of crossfade again. And I don't even know if I like that shot. Maybe we'll do like. And then you break your space bar. Very important. You can tell that space bar has been used for like so much recordings. And actually, I'm gonna switch this to like. Yeah, heavy metal video editing. It means that you got to go really hard onto your keyboard there. Um, Here's a question for the chat, and I think I can pin this. What are your biggest challenges video editing? Because I think that's a good discussion that'll keep me talking out loud, and not just quietly editing. But also, that is very important to me. I think learning what people actually care about is like step one when it comes to making guides and stuff. Break your space bar during metal video editing. Yeah, it's funny. That is the only key that actually gets damaged often, and it's for the reason you think it is. It's because I keep smashing it at the right time. So, and we got to get the timing really good here. So. And I'm doing like a pick scrape here, but I don't think I did that in this. Let's change that real quick. And again, I'm pausing every once in a while because I want to get the timings. And sometimes this stuff's go. I haven't touched any color or animation since it looks intimidating, but challenge is interesting shots in a small room with just a tripod. So I think this is a really, really important, fun challenge because I started in my room growing up in high school 10 years ago. Oh no, it's 12 years ago. Ugh. And yeah, I still have smallish room, tripod. We moved to a very expensive part of America, and that means we live in a very small space to afford it. So now we also have just camera, tripods. Sometimes we ask friends for help. So there's a lot of creative ways to get around it. I think the question is, what do you want the video to look like? Forget everything you own, but start with, do I really want to play the instrument on camera? Like, is that important? And, that's step one. A lot of people program music, EDM, they do electronic, they rather dance, they, animate or draw or go outside. If you have a phone, you can go outside and hold your, phone close up to some grass blowing outside. Yes, MGR. So both of you are asking wonderful, similar questions, and I'm going to definitely think about this one. New to editing, my challenge is make the video more dynamic and interesting to watch. How can I make someone watch the video instead of just hearing the song? So this is so good because, again, I've been doing this on YouTube for 12 years now. So a lot of my videos don't get a lot of views, but people have hired me for the videos that they have seen. So the question, I guess, is also, what's your objective? If you are interested in making music videos because you'd love to have really cool music videos and, act, be a part of it, or serve your song, if it's an artistic thing, or you're telling a story, or if you're in the cover community, if you want to make a video that relates to the games, then what should someone watch to keep them interested? How do you connect it to the music? Or, what kind of videos do you like? And that's my other first question. What videos have kept you engaged for how long? If they're some of mine, if they're someone else's, think about that. And I think that's one of the first things that solves a lot of your problems. For me, I like watching videos that relate to the song, number one. So if it's just me in my room, like this video, this one, I don't think I would watch this video as an audience member if it was just me in my room playing guitar, unless the guitar part's really crazy, like very, very interesting technically, or we make some adjustments. So, you know, we have a tripod shot. Here's one of the first things I can share as an answer, potentially. How do we make a tripod video look interesting? So we have a shot here. And again, this is open floor, so a lot of people probably won't find this very interesting. If you don't play guitar, this is objectively not that interesting. This is also the proxy, so if I turn this off, the quality should jump a little bit, which I think it does. But here's the thing. This could be for any song I cover. This could be a video for like a million different video games, soundtracks. I could have written a song and filmed this. This shot doesn't really connect to that much, but it's green, so that's already one start. So this could be a video from something alien-like, water, which is my hope. I liked green because the character Scylla and Sirens, they have a lot of blue and green. It could be Luigi, it could be Yoshi, it could be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So this doesn't really connect to anything. So if I were, you know, if I click this, I don't really, this could have been a million things. So it's not really special. That's all I'm saying. But this is a tripod shot, and just in terms of like, okay, is this fun to watch? Is this fun to stare at? Like, we can, here, I gotta turn off proxies. You know, I'm just moving around a little. And there is more going on in this shot. So we can talk about, I'm dancing, so it's a little bit more energetic. That's one way to make it interesting. The background, I've made that in Blender. You can't really see too much of it, but it does look like it's part of the shot. You know, it's a little bit more interesting, and you can see my logo in the back. So it makes you feel like you're watching this thing that's been planned out and thought up. And I do think that ups the quality a little bit. Yeah, Rachel does riches or longest solo. So Dean, longest solo ever. That's the perfect example of any video that comes out is designed to be unique, play to the song, play to the original material. It's very important. I've talked to Rachel a good bit about this, and you know, like there's different aspects of the videos that come out on that channel that I like. But if it's still in the room, then it doesn't matter. It's about the technicality and showing off how good a guitar player Rich is, or in my case, I try to share how good a guitar player I am, and that can be a musical thing. But then only musicians are going to really care about that, unless you tie it back to, you know, the fans of that game, or, you know, you connect it so that, you know, maybe I don't care about guitar playing, but I love Zelda. I love Hades too. And that way I think it connects. So again, not a lot of people are doing this kind of videography, music video style, but this is what I think of. And I do look to Rachel's videography as one of my biggest influences easily. So, ignoring the complex, you know, rig here, this is what I do. I put my camera on a tripod, and this is a 50mm lens, which might be in focus. And what ends up happening is it zooms in quite close, which a lot of people just assume is cinematic. And it's true, and that's really important. If normal, average people look at something and they think it looks, you know, special, or, you know, more than just, you know, footage. I think it's very, to make sure it wouldn't drop, I think it's much more interesting and a little bit more polished. Thank you, Blaster Master. Happy Saturday. Thank you for that. And yeah, when you just show guitar, it does look like it's a lesson or it's all about teaching how to play it. And that's not appealing to most people, again. And a lot of people I've met, oh, thank you. I'm glad that I can be on gym playlists. That's specifically a dream of mine. But yeah, like getting stuff through to fans of the game, or just fans of music, but not guitarists, people who care about the details. That's very important to me. Anyway, so this shot's on a tripod. Another thing you can do to make tripod shots interesting is you can add a handheld sort of effect. If you can't ask a friend or a roommate or a videographer or someone to hold your camera for you, Cinecom.net made these great premiere ones. So if we watch this real quick, oh, I gotta use the long. They have a lot of presets that are basically taken from camera movement. So this is how I shot a lot of my footage before getting married or asking friends, or even for quick edits, or when people hire me to edit their videos. So now this camera is in there. It's dancing with you. It's part of the song. It's a little bit more interesting. So that's one element I think is very important, but also all the stuff I said about how does this relate to the game. So, you know, videos like this with, you know, I'm in my room, I'm trying to do it cheaply, they are a little bit harder. My Final Fantasy VII theme video, we went outside. And here, DaVinci Resolve, though, has a camera shake plugin, and it is the best. So, and it's free, it's already built in. So if you check out tutorials on that, I don't recommend it for like a lot of types of videos, but I do think it's even more interesting than static most of the time. Yeah, connect it to the original material as best as you can. Some examples of this, and this is why I'm streaming, of course, to get distracted. But let me see if I can quickly share like a muted example. I think if I do my Zelda medleys, I recently did, like last year. So, and I'm gonna mute the audio just because it's not important. So costumes, one of the biggest inspirations I had for getting more connected to the source material of what I'm covering was costume. You know, this is a cheap Link costume, but it's a chance to kind of like showcase, you know, I'm aware of Zelda, I get to play as Link, and then I'm cutting, just like we're doing right now, I'm cutting between different shots so that your eyes are just kind of constantly watching the performance, and hopefully you're interested in why, you know, the guitar playing is so interesting. It's cut between camera shots, and yeah, here's another fun example. I used you know, that classic NES font and just 3D dropped it in with After Effects, and there's even a shadow there, so it looks like, you know, something that you may not see on other channels. And it connects to the game again with the retro font. So, and then another thing I did is the shots are now bluish and darker, whereas the overworld was brighter. You know, small things. Fairy fountain, this is a good example. There's fairies here, you know, and like dust particles and crap, and it's a little messy, but, you know, by putting these sprites, it kind of connects it to fairies. Death Mountain is another fun one. So from this is the original Zelda. So now we're fighting Ganon. I just threw him in there. It's an old game. I don't think I'll get in trouble, but don't quote me on that. And yeah, like there's fire and stuff, and the video is now graded to be a little redder, a little more orange, and it just feels like a bit more of a boss fight. Again, I'm not saying this is the best example ever. This is kind of, you know, scrappy. This is a year-old video now. But the point is, like, if you can do something that is uniquely you or ties to the source a little bit more, it just makes this video less disposable. And that's not me. I don't mean to like disparage on people who make videos in their room every single week and they all look the same, but that's not interesting to me. And I do think that some folks may get tired of that. You know, I certainly like watching videos where there's a little bit more intrigue in the music itself. Otherwise, I don't think people should spend so much time on videos just to have one. Like, do it if you like it. Don't force yourself. Yeah, pixel art and regular art, or like live action footage together, is really beautiful. I think that's another aspect of making these things that I like. But yeah, so handheld footage for the wider tripod shot, definitely important to me. But yeah, it's been, how long are we streaming? It's been 1 hour. I was talking the whole time, and we're already done. Did I screw something up? I may have to reload. Yeah, I may have to reload my project real quick here. But what's again great is now we're done. Like, most people can release this, and this is the same quality that, you know, a lot of folks are able to do at home. You don't even have to have Premiere to get this far. But yeah, with the multicam, it's very quick, very comfortable. You know, we can consider it done, but we're not. Also, yeah, I'm trying to think of some ideas here to like highlight this. We could do something like do like this, and then I'm gonna add a transform effect here, which allows you to move, basically like move the camera, but it's digital. And then we could just zoom into Allison's hands are, where she's making the heart. Come on. And I like making sure it's kind of in the center. Okay, never mind. Okay. But we can do right clicking and creating a Bezier curve, or actually out it is. This makes it an accelerated effect. And then yeah, we can go like 350 or, and then end the videos like zooming into the hand heart that it's cheesy, but my style, I think, is kind of a little bit cheesy, a little bit homegrown. Yeah, it's great answers. Again, like with the challenge is, you're just getting started, getting an interesting looking shot in the camera is already important enough. And one of the toughest things, I think, is getting used to the idea that playing your instrument in front of a camera isn't enough to impress. You know, like, all of this advice does not have anything to do with views, by the way, necessarily. But yeah, like back in the day, if you posted a video and you were playing an instrument half decently, that was good enough. But that's not how music videos were. You know, like, people still made MTV videos with like stories and stuff. And I'll figure out what to do with that. And then, just because this is how I edit, I would add my end slate. This is a animation I made in After Effects a while ago. And it has my endorsements. Hello, Jeff. How are you doing? Absolutely. I think it's important to remind people that your cell phone is pretty much going to be more than good enough to start with and to get into videos and even to continue. There's a lot of channels that still just use a music, you know, like a camera out of their phone or something like that. And it's good enough for a lot of use cases. There is a reason why I would never use my phone if I could help it. And that is because it doesn't look like a formal film camera. It doesn't have the same lenses. And for that reason, I think if you're interested in videography, and you can afford to get something like a DSLR camera, then go for that and then start exploring that. But otherwise, you know, you'll still see people using their phones for all sorts of contexts. Yes. Yeah, and for anyone coming in, again, we've been streaming for an hour, editing my next music video, and it's already been cut together, and basically we're in that stage where we can start exploring all things to enhance the video. I've also pinned a question that I think is a great discussion. What are your current biggest challenges when it comes to video editing, music videos? And is there anything, that you're looking for to improve your music video making? Be it going faster, creative ideas. Problem with shooting with a phone is the lack of focus control. That's a big one. So a lot of people recommend different apps for your phone that let you control that, which many do. Filmic Pro, I think, was a common one. If I just look it up right now, it's still there, mobile cine camera. So you can have fixed focus and all, but one issue, of course, is you don't necessarily have a way to monitor. If you have an iPhone, there's a lot more ways, including using an Apple Watch, as my wife Allison explained. But yeah, again, there's like a lot of upsides because you already own the phone, and then there's some downsides. Yeah, lights are obviously those are some of the biggest recommendations. Let me see if I have a good shot here. I can share what lights we're using. Yeah, so here's a decent one. Yeah, having different phones, accessibility wasn't inconsistent. So that's a really interesting point as well. Shooting with one camera over and over again is definitely going to be better, in my opinion, than shooting with multiple cameras, even if they're really good cameras, unless you're used to what's called color correction, of course. You can use a color card, but it's still very difficult. Movie Pro on iPhone and iPad to monitor. Yeah, see, that's really good to know, because I don't have, Allison has an iPhone, so I can always borrow it. But for when I create this big music video guide, I want to have options for people who are using their phone. I've used the Sony apps and third-party apps for monitoring wirelessly my Sony cameras. That's another really great option if you have a mirrorless camera or anything like that. But yeah, so for lights, we're using these tube lights in the background. I just have 2 aperture lights. And then just for extra, like, set decoration, I have this is just one of these like floodlights. I don't recommend buying these unless you're going to decorate a room with them. They are not good film lights, but they're interesting practical lights. And if you have nothing at all, like, they're not bad. Beginning of COVID, when we all shot independently, the shots came out hilariously different from one another. Yeah, see, that's definitely going to happen, and especially if you're already like in such a dense place and like you're filming with the band or you're doing close-ups and stuff, I'm more likely to just be like, yeah, let's just run it back with like a mirrorless, or even renting one for like $30 for a day or something. I'm making up numbers, it might be more. That might be easier than putting someone through color correction, but it's always going to be up to different settings and stuff. And like if you ever go outside and do like a band shoot or a music video or something, then you have to start thinking about exposure more and like the sunlight moving. It becomes a huge pain in the butt. The only other light we used, this Aperture Amaran like single white light. And if I had to tell anyone to just buy one kind of light, it'd probably be like one of those. LED panels are also really good. They start getting more expensive. But I'm like really preaching to the folks who are in a single bedroom and all. Shot during the day with daylight coming in. Mike shot at night. But I mean, that's the learning process, right? Like, I just pulled up as an example a Zelda medley that I had shot, and the sun was moving. So there's shots where I'm like totally dark, and then there's some shots where I'm like totally visible, and it's just obvious that it's not like professionally thought out. And the only difference you could have done is just turned everything around. But sometimes when you shoot outside, there's background things to consider. People walking, stuff that you can't get rid of. So it's a whole thing. But anyway, yeah, when it comes to music videos, at this stage, we have a cut that I'm pretty happy with. And I've put markers down at like significant moments where I need to like put a transition effect or like some light over it. So while I don't template too much of this part, it is pretty easy for me to just be like, all right, like just drop this, and it's out. And that's still what I'm going to do for the most part. But since I'm streaming this as part of like sharing how I would approach things, we can do a few things. One thing being color grade. So I'm going to turn off the proxy toggle in Premiere. So basically we're going to look at the higher quality versions. And this footage is shot specifically so that it'll be easier for me to get thumbnails out of and stills. So if I find a shot that's not too blurry and like pretty well exposed, meaning it's bright enough, we can kind of take a look at different feels and moods. And this is a whole science. People in DaVinci Resolve have like a better, deeper control over this. You can do it with lumetri color and probably should. But because this is content and not like art film, I'm just gonna kind of breeze through how I would approach this. I hate that it decides to show up this way. So in this program that I'm using, Magic Bulk Looks, it has a lot of presets, and it also has a lot of choices of like color grading effects and like small effects. So I'm just gonna pull down a few and I'll explain thoughts on each of them and kind of what I'm doing, and then what we're going for here. So I'm gonna turn off like all of them now. Start one by one. Okay, so the first one I'm going to do is basically this simulation of what's called like a diffusion filter, and there's a lot of different ones. These are all based on different filters you can put on your lens. They affect colors and, of course, like the look of the shots differently. So, a common one is the Tiffin Pro Mist series, and these kind of like soften bright parts of the image. What does that mean? So if we zoom in here, you can kind of see the shine of my my logo in the background on the screen getting brighter. And I always thought that this is like a really cool way to, distinguish your footage a little bit. But there's a lot of different controls, like the density, which is how much of it's going on overall. So if you kind of stare at it, it looks like I fogged up the lens. Which can be cheesy, and for a lot of modern videos, it can be less sharp, so it doesn't look necessarily as nice or new. Yes, it's very similar to a bloom effect, and we can even do highlights only, which is something I kind of like to do. So that way, certain parts of the video get the effect, like over here. And then you can even preview the highlights if you're not sure what it's affecting. So now we know it's just affecting there. Even add some glow. Like, you can get really in depth with this stuff. But this is just one of many effects we're going to add. And one thing that makes shooting these videos on, camera important is how far you can push the footage before it starts to break. So I don't think I need. This is like a way I could get like a fisheye effect or stretch the footage a little, which can be kind of fun. But usually I just like to do it on the edges and look kind of widened because it's a quality, expensive. You don't necessarily need it. And then this is vignetting, which is kind of common, and it's where the edges will get dark. And I like to be super subtle with this because it can be very painful, obvious. Someone is trying to darken the edges, so I just want it to be like a little bit of a natural darkening. And I think one of the best parts about doing this is that the eyes will focus more centered. So when you frame your footage nicely, this is a haze flare effect. It's kind of faked as well. So right now you can't really see much with the presets anyway. But when you do, it ends up like adding a little bit of like a blurry effect in the center that I don't necessarily like. So I can just increase the softness and then just kind of look for where it's actually doing anything. It's not doing too much. So I'm going to leave it low. The reason why I did want it is because I did want to get like that underwater kind of look, the nod. But you can just do like And again, like if you're not sure if any effect in anything is affecting your picture, your music, I always say just crank it up until it looks horrible, and then you'll be certain that you. But yeah, right now I think I can just barely tell it has an effect on some of the darker spots in that. Colorista, this is just going to be like normal color correction, so we could decrease the colors. Which can be kind of fun. I like having certain colors stand out a little more. Obviously, red, blue, greens are important. I don't think we need necessarily and pink as strong. So this is the saturation of the colors. One example, my guitar is red, right? So if I pull this red and orange shade down, then it's getting rid of all the red and orange. Since my skin tone is also part of that, it can be a negative effect on it, and you can even increase it. Now, when I say, doing things in this process may affect or push too far, here's an example. You kind of see like some digital crap going on here. And that's what happens if you put colors too far. So I tend to like prefer to just not go too hard with these things. Then we can add a contrast curve one, and this just exaggerates how dark things are, how bright things are. And then a very powerful tool is a LUT, which is basically a lookup table. It tells what colors should go where, and many people can associate that with like Instagram filters. And I just have a bunch of them. We can make it greener, we can make it bluer, but it's doing that in different amounts and capacities. And not all of them are going to look great, and maybe we dial it back a little. Like I kind of like this one because it's giving me a little bit more, and I'm trying to get like this very colory sort of thing. Well, thank you very much, Lowest Expectations. Very much appreciate the kind words on my covers. You're gonna get a new one very soon. It's also already on Spotify. A lot of music is just gonna go to music stores first and videos later. That's how it's gonna be. Yeah, so I kind of like how this looks. Now, one important thing is what I'm doing is I'm working on an adjustment layer. This is kind of like a whole sheet that goes on top of your video. And I screwed up the resolution here. So I'm going to quickly... Hold on. And that's because I was using the default from my visualizer background there. Yeah, so now we can also see, is our work actually going to look good on all of the footage? Or did I make it with just that one shot in mind? And normally when you color correct all your footage, you don't have to worry about that as much. So here's one cool thing we can do. We can literally just side by side and kind of see. On the left, it's going to be unaffected, plain color footage. On the right, it's going to be color grade. And that way we can be like, okay, left and right, like, did I screw this up or is it fine? So very helpful tool, I find. And yeah, I don't think I went too hard, which is great. Very important, of course. We need to see Allie's shots look decent. She is the guest star of this whole thing. And no, there's never a good spot to pause when it comes to checking stuff, but yeah, see, I like that this isn't really ruining the footage at all. That's usually my biggest but I like color grading to like wider shot, my default here, kind of just see what does this look like and what is the mood when someone clicks this. We were talking about what makes things interesting. I have watched, and again, I love my friends to death. I love what the community is able to do, but I've seen so many large collabs where this wasn't thought of and the video doesn't look really interesting. And it prevents people from wanting to watch, which is annoying. And it's just a great way to artistically do things. Ooh, fantastic. Yes. When working on serious or big projects, you check your video on different monitors and screens, like when you master a song and you want to hear it. Yeah, this is a great question. So, yes, and not just for more serious projects. I do this for everything I possibly can. So, this monitor right here is it's a very good monitor. I just got it. It's ultra wide. Actually, you can see it. And it's HDR, so it has like a different interpretation of the look. And I try to get it neutral so that I can make sure what I'm looking at is going to be similar to what someone looks at on their phone. Because most people are probably going to watch my video, you know, on the toilet or whatever on their phone. And likewise, when I'm mixing and finalizing songs, I need to listen to it on two different pairs of headphones. So these are Sennheiser 650. My monitors, which are usually the most trustworthy, but you know, my room, send it to a friend. Immediate thing. I always send my projects to Allison, and maybe one or two different friends who have different setups, different monitors, and try to see if they catch something maybe I didn't. Even if they're not, you know, good at this. If you have a sibling, if you have a friend nearby, if you come into my Discord, you're welcome to do this. But yeah, it's so helpful. And my goal, honestly, is I want someone to see my thing and go, wow, like, how did you do that? Like, like, I want them to be impressed with what happened here, and see something unique each time. You know, I like it when people enjoy my work, but I want my work to surprise people too, so that I know I'm getting better or I'm doing something. I like adding this feature, halation. It's an effect that happens on film cameras, and it's very, very subtle, but it basically adds like a little halo around lights, and even that feels like kind of strong. So I'm just gonna like dial it in a little. When I finish a piece, I check it on my phone. Yes, it can change a lot, and that can be because phones have a different color space. We're actually checking this video in Rec 709, which is the most common form of colors. But if someone were to watch this on HDR, you know, like, it might change the kind of color you see. So it's very important to kind of try and preview things, and make sure that you're working in the right spaces and everything. And I actually have a few plugins for my music where I can actually simulate a car, a TV, a phone, headphones, AirPods, you know, everything that could show how good or how bad my mixes are. The last thing I'll do here is I'll add a little bit of film grain, just because that's kind of the style of this video. And we can even compare it. And it just helps get a little bit of grit. How can I inquire about your editing service? I have a collab project I need help with. You're welcome to shoot me a message on Discord, or I'm on Twitter as well. My email is literally ropanuganti@gmail.com. I'm currently, I've got a little bit of a backlog, but I'm very much open to being hired to edit things depending on what you need, or I can refer you to someone who's really good at a kind of editing. But I'd be more than happy to. I've edited a lot of collaborations. I edit full-time for the band Split Screen, as well as, of course, like the big Paper Mario Origami King video, Joe Zija. Most of those are also like the square grid thing, which I really don't like, but I try to find ways to make it interesting. Also, I'm finding, and MGR, you just brought this up, I'm finding that looking at my video now, it's a little too dark. So I'm going to see if I can enhance that before a little bit more. I may need to get more water. So I'll see if we can like play back the video a little bit without stuttering here. So there's a few options we have when a video is not bright enough. We can turn up different parts of the, or we can increase the brightness. May do that. Parts. That way we still get this contrasty shot. And it is cool when you have like certain bright spots in your image, but I don't want that to like distract. So we can check that shot. I'll probably have to watch, like I'll have to stand up and watch it. Another thing is your posture. So God, there's no good place to pause to see her singing shots. They always look. It's always funny when you're filming yourself and you're singing. That works. Yeah, there's something about this that looks a little dead right now to me. I turn this off. I think it back. Let's make sure sequence settings. So yeah, it's working in Rec 79, and it's actually got this auto-tone map media on. This means that if your footage was shot with like a special camera or different colors or even phones, we have a way to automatically adjust it to the same kinds of colors, which, you know, it can be a little hard. That's a very complex thing I don't know that much about, but I just wanted to kind of point that out, especially when working with the kind of footage that I do. Now, one thing I did not add that I always like to add is a little bit of sharpness. And part of the reason why I did not is because I was trying to go for this underwater kind of thing, but I don't mind if we add a little bit of sharpness. It does bring like a certain level of like quality to your footage. The lines being exact, especially for like a metal track, I think it can be really cool. This thing is still too dark. And I'm gonna fix that with Lumetri color, which is just kind of see that's gonna make a difference. And this is the exposure. It's more so brightening up. That could be kind of nice. Let's see how this looks. Then I'll move on to the next step, which I think that is probably one of the most important steps we'll get to. Okay, so yeah, I think that works. So I'm going to turn on proxies again, which if you weren't here before, just don't remember, that is our method of playing back the footage at a lower quality and editing it a little bit more comfortably. So I'm going to quickly run and get some water, and then we're going to add light effects and transitions. This is what's going to make the difference between video being kinda good and like really, really, really exciting and look at good. And it is one of the easiest, freest ways that we can enhance the video as well. Certainly love. So I'm going to play this back and mute my mic, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes.
You're so obsessed with me.
water, they're hydrating. And yeah, I'll thank Allison for you. I think she did great. And yeah, this is like, again, publishable, but it's not my bar. And I think the last hit should. Hello. Premier's getting mad at me. Yeah, these are fun songs, honestly, coming out of Hades. Ooh. Yeah, I think my CPU is mad at me. Yeah, ooh. Here. I will definitely tell her that for you. Okay, let's see if... Are we back? Okay, I think we're back. I'm so sorry. I will absolutely tell her that because, yeah, she's got a fantastic voice, and this is our first collab where she's singing anything like metal. So I know that can be really daunting. I may reset my stream because, yeah, I think my CPU is fine. Let's look together, friends. Yeah, it's got plenty of everything. It's GPU memory. That's why. But yeah, and I mean, like, by all means, so she's got to sing the other popular Siren song, Coral Crown. We're trying to really, like, take our time with them so that they come out really good. And also, like, the instrumental part is a little bit more interesting. I don't like going one-to-one when the song is already, like, metal, since I'm trying to, like, try hard with my guitar parts. So, yeah, let's pull back Premiere open and we're going to add some layers. But, yeah, I'm really happy with how that track came out. I actually arranged it on my laptop while we were living at my buddy Colby's house. We're also releasing this next. Oh, I'm excited. I imagine y'all have a very fun guest vocalist then. But yeah, Hades 2, super fun. Gosh, I'm so mad. I'm not gonna be able to see any of y'all or any East Coast VGM bands for a while live. And there's so much going on right now, and I really want to see this song played live. I think it's gonna go over really well because it's written to be like a really fun, like interactive sort of song. Like I can imagine people singing like to Coral Crown, with the drowns and stuff. Let alone this one. Just imagine getting a whole crowd to shout, "I'm going to claw your eyes out." That's the dream. But yeah, very exciting. All right, so what do we do to get this interesting? I think I'll start with transitions. Transitions can be really fun. They can be super distracting and annoying. So when it comes to editing your own music videos, I like to think of just sections, and I've drawn a lot from watching different people, and then figuring out where we'll want to use. Again, I'm using like a paid thing. Yeah, see, this song would be really fun to play live. I don't have another date where Allison will be performing with me for a while. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, Jeff. Hope you have a good rest of your Saturday. But yeah, I do think I might try to play this one live, maybe with a different guest or something. But I do think it would be good to have a non-male singer for the Siren, just to to cast appropriately and all that. So here's the verse. Let's go something rocky. I like to have is just these little camera bumps, and we can hold shift and whenever that freaky sound comes in, I'm actually gonna cut here and just try something a little, just an effect so that visually we're like, okay, what he played on guitar was really interesting. Yeah, that's what I want to see. So, and we could even blend it a little bit, make it go harder. Keyframe that, meaning we change the effect over time. And by doing the ease out thing again, let's see if we can get this to playback. Now this footage is all 4K, so streaming it is asking a lot of my computer. No, I don't want that. I don't like that. I don't like it. And we can add an effect called chromatic aberrations, which adds like a little bit of like this distorted, kind of crazy, your colors aren't working thing. We could do something like really nuts here. And then we could do, and this is me thinking out loud, by the way. I don't have like a master plan. But we could do white paint. Does it make you a killer cello player as well? Chromatic apparatus. I don't know what it is that makes me not like it yet. Maybe I need like so what we can do in Premiere is what's called render in to out. And this allows us to actually like print out just a little bit of our footage to see what it'll look like in final. And I'm doing this because I'm not sure how the effect looks in real time. Okay, that's kind of what I was hoping for. I kind of like it doing this pink thing. It would be cool to, I don't know, maybe we'll add like just a little bit of noise. And that way it just gets grimy. And one other thing we can do, speaking of grimy, is we can add a literal layer of what's it? Comics, speed lines, anime. Is it this one? Oh, is it this one? Okay, so what is the name of the song? It is I'm Going to Claw Your Eyes Out. So why wouldn't we want some clawing going on? It turns pink. Is that the inverted colors? Yes. It's basically doing the opposite of it's doing the opposite of the colors that exist. So for a white image, it'll turn to black. So, and let's see if we can render out a little bit more time. Actually, I think I can do something here. Renders. Oh, I had it right the first time. And lately, what I like to do is, again, our music video is already like cut. So it's just a matter of coming up with more fun ideas. And this is the fun part. I love this game so much. So, like, why wouldn't I want to come up with some ideas here? And you know what? We could do like 2 of these, and then we could rotate them. So this is a vertical flip. Nope. There we go. Let's do 75% the speed. Left to right, and then so, you know, like it's little things like that that I think are going to be interesting. There's one really cool textural kind of effect that I want to pull in, and let's see if I can find some downloads of this one in particular. So what I'm looking for are called like grunge layers, grunge textures. I also really like the let's see. These are just kind of like speedy lights. They're a little crazy, but I do think they have like a little bit more of that underwater look to them because they're so smeary. So we could add maybe like a simple one, and we don't want, you know, you reuse all of our tricks at once, especially because I'm trying not to make this look too overwhelming. So let's stretch it out to 4K. We can do something like a hard light, and we can just use it for this last. Nope, we can't hide. You can just kind of see that there's like this light shadow going on. And then for here, this is the verse. So maybe we can have like some soft colors. And I like this light leak a lot because it's got like that water look to it. And it's always going on, which is really nice for me. Stay away, it seems every day you keep coming back here. Now it's plain to see. And one thing I'll do here, because I want to keep cutting to the beat of the music. It's in my mind, it's like you're really taking the audience for like a little dance. So, you know, I'll add like a little quick bump here or something. Oh man, I'm getting hungry. And yeah, you could tell that's like a super subtle thing. So we could even add, not a claw. I do want to save those. And then let's add it here instead. And we're not going to change much of the footage, so I like using these locks. They just prevent me from ruining my video here. So we can, the other one look kind of cool. And I'm gonna like start it just here. And then if I click and drag and hold Alt over the current clip, it'll jump to switch them out. Hard light. Nope. One of these other. They all have like different creative ways of affecting your. And we could invert it. So now it just looks like this lens thing happens. You wanna be under the sea with your favorites. And when she says sea, you can't really see her face anymore. So I might transition that a little bit. Under the sea with your favorite siren. Maybe on siren we can switch. You know, just little things that make me feel like I'm watching the final product. And what did I say? I'm still looking for, it's probably in my MagFest folder. One thing I learned from Nate Horsball, who helped with our MagFest show visuals, is show visuals for like concerts can really give you good ideas on how to edit music videos. So what I'm looking for now is like some grungy lines, abstract sort of looking stuff that might be cool to layer on top of our music video here, which is gonna be really fun. And what's great about that, of course, is like, you know, it's a little edgy. You can't use it all the time. People will not be able to stare properly. We can do stuff like this. I think I like this one a lot. And I like this one. And in many ways, we should be good enough with a couple of these. You just don't want to reuse the same ones until like, you know, and make it obvious, because people will just be like, okay, this guy's running out of stuff. He just got access to this. I agree. Again, like, you can make a fantastic mix, and then when it comes to shooting it, you could, you know, people might miss out on those small details, or you could cut the video and it'll still look really great. But then, you know, if you miss some of this stuff, you know, it can be it's a really great opportunity to make sure you wanna be under the sea with your. So we could start like pretty low. We could even cut here or something. Nope, don't play back from the beginning. Getting somewhere. So this "You're So Obsessed With Me" is probably a better spot to start getting like really dicey, because the vocals are starting to get really intensive. So we could even like just change it to black and white for that section or something. And then maybe I'll put in another one of those little flashes. So it's like your favorite siren, like it's like a pow in your face kind of thing. Yeah. Now it's playing backwards. Probably want to do. Yeah, and now that we're getting all gritty, like. Oh, wait. So, yeah, what I'll do here is I can add in a simple black and white effect, just fills all of the colors. And I'm going to add that before anything, just so that the colors don't affect the picture. And for an example of what's going to happen here, and it's going to be a little jarring if we jump between no color and some color. So I'm going to add like transition here. We can do something like an exposure blur. It's just, it brightens up and blurs the footage a little. We'll do it really quick. So you're so obsessed with Flash, you know, like it's almost like we're playing a. You're so obsessed with me. Oh, that is a bummer. So I'm gonna do a little bump here, because I realized the effect for her vocals kicks in earlier. So you're so obsessed with bump. And we can zoom in a little bit here. It's at 110. Let's just go hard. And over here, because this is such an intense like build-up, maybe we can zoom in a little more. My thumb is doing that like process. Uh-oh. May have made a mistake here. Let's do. And I'll straight up like zoom in on my thumb more. Because again, like if a not guitar player is watching a guitarist play, you gotta like find a way, I think, to convey what is technically this. We can cut to like one of the stream. And I'm gonna switch places here. So what I mean by that is we'll not that I can blame you, thumb. And do I have a better thumb shot? Yeah, there we go. Not that I can blame you for it. And then I'll get rid of the black and white here on, which means we'll probably want another super quick transition. You can do like a fast shake or something. And yeah, this will be. So now we're getting all these hits, and I'm like, we gotta capitalize on that. So what I mean by capitalize, of course, is, you know, like we need the video to play along with the music there. And what's nice is we can copy all of this for the next shot, for the next like verse, the repeats. So let's try like 50. And actually, I don't like that. I'm gonna use a clip of like real lights flashing or something. Let's see if I have right. So this is like a rainbow overlay that a friend of mine made, and I find it really, really cool. To have something bright. If I go normal, make sure like we're at the shot. Yeah, so I want something like this, and I'm actually gonna put a marker on the clip. So it'll look kind of like someone shone a flashlight into the camera. And then if we increase the exposure on the clip itself, hard light, then we're gonna match like that guitar strum basically. So it's kind of, and this is where you got to be careful, of course, because you know, epileptic warnings and all. I don't want to go too complex hard that way. We can change the shape of these a little bit too. We can even increase the length of some of these. We could like fade it out each time or something too. That one felt slow. So. And then we definitely have to get like some sort of some build up here or something. And we can slowly ramp up an effect, kind of like audio. So we'll have this like, we can do it as a screen effect. So start at 5%. This as a close-up. Come on. And what's kind of cool about this idea, I think, is that the whole song is going to like, it's going to get brighter. And yeah, like we can add another light layer or similar, you know, just something that gets faster and faster. Yeah, like this thing, very devastating to my eyeballs. So we could start bringing that in here, and let's scale it up. Like a soft light, and we can keep it like 50% maybe at the end. And then here it'll start at, excuse me, there we go, 50%. And then, yeah, we're at our chorus. So what's kind of funny, as you can tell, is this process takes way longer than the boring editing and slicing and lining up, but it's also kind of more creative space. I'm actually going to lower it down so I can many effect layers. And then, yeah, now I think we need to claw out some eyes. These my claws? Yeah. We can have a claw swipe like every snare. We can like flip them. And one idea I had was like to do 2 eyes. So what would it look like if you got your eyes like clawed? It would be like, so this one, we could do it to the side. Similar size, so it looks, and speed of this one could be 100 as well. Start like 8. And maybe we make this one like 75. And then this also like 76, you know, just a little different. Actually, these gotta look more awesome throughout the video, so there we go. They can overlap. The claws really got you. And then let's see, color matte. And this is kind of like a really like funny way to do light fades and stuff. I'm gonna take off. And we can do like an even quicker one here. So like all these little details that seem like a pain in the butt to, you know, to do are slowly paying off. And drown you to death. And again, it's a little cheesy, so we could do like color caustics. again, like, and drown you to death, like, just for that line. Kind of have, like, this watery overlay pop up for a second, kind of fade back out. Yeah, like, and it doesn't have to be super noticeable, but I do want it to be there. Yeah, just so that you're really getting the visual of what it would be like if this was around you to death. But I want it more obvious, so we could do like 60%. Actually, we could even do 100%. Throw it from 45, and then to make it a little interesting. Oh, that's terrifying. We can use a mask, which is just like a cutout of the effect, and then this way. It doesn't get on the face as much. And we can use feathering, which of course just lightens the effect, invert it, and then we can animate the mask real quick. You know, it seems pointless to do a lot of this stuff, but it's not taking me that long, and it is going to be. I am gonna close your eyes and drown you. We're gonna need to hit that exact mark. Let's get this one centered. You're such a mess. That little dress looks that are really fun. So we can kick back off here. Maybe do another rainbow sparkle ramp up. Might be fun. And then what we do is we go to the verse where we started all these effects, right? So here we can just select this, and then just kind of go all the way through. And because the pace of the song is virtually the same, we should have decent success. Just like that hair, don't mean to stare. Were you aware? Looks like something died there. That's why I'm jealous of me. Not that I can blame you for it. I would be too if I were you. Too bad you must die now. I am gonna close your eyes and drown you to death. I am gonna close your eyes and drown you. We could even do like some snarky stuff here, like yeah, like I might even move this one over here, just to like diversify. We gotta get that clog. I'm gonna make this one like freaking huge. Huge Jackman. Yeah. You gotta get some crisscross stuff going. Let's stretch that one out like really. Yeah. Start clawing downwards. Copy paste for the second verse. Yeah, it's nice because the song's tempo is the same too. And you can kind of make this one more of a soft fade. And then I'm gonna cut this here. And what I like about this is we're basically making a new scene. So what I'll do here is I'm gonna change the choice of the look. The video is gonna get a little grimier as a result. We're gonna get really low saturation. Let's just see. Yeah, if some of those claws, big ones, makes the camera shakes a little bit. That's a good idea as well. I think that would actually be really fun to explore here. I'm gonna. Sure, this part isn't too dark though. I think it's because I got excited by the change in the colors. That might be fun. So we can probably have some of the, like for the big one. So I have a preset I made myself. Bump. Well, let's try one of them. Yeah, now it looks more. Come on. Yeah, we may have to work on that one a little bit. Actually, use the built-in effect that I have. Do another like big camera. Then we can start it when the claws come in. Yeah. And the effect that isn't obvious right now, but will be, is we're gonna lose color from the image. Yeah, and then we can pull from that "That's Why You're Jealous of Me" section. So let's lock this down. We're gonna need to transition over here too. What's kind of cool about this spot right here so this part's really like ethereal, very like floaty musically. So I'm gonna see if I can add some crossfades. And this is actually where one thing we could do is bring back that 3D visual. Do like let's see. And I need to check something because I think something on my Spotify just messed up. Featured. Okay. So yeah, this might be I'm trying to figure out the best way to like do this. Because I'm like trying to think of a way to showcase the artwork I made, I guess. 3D art here. Maybe I can do like screen mode, like 35% or something. Just kind of like tease it, zoom closer and closer. Yeah, I think that might be cool. And again, like it's not super polished. This isn't like a music video or that I'm gonna spend weeks on. So this is where I definitely have like I guess an idea in my mind. Yeah. Here. Nope. Where do we go? I have noticed a small bug I'm running into. It might be a Premiere thing, it might be my fault, but yeah, graphics have been really hard for me to like just type. Okay, let's just try to yeah, let's just go. Pinched by a crab. Very, very polished looking kind of graphics there. So we have a lot of like different options as far as designing text here. I'm gonna try to get something large, all caps, and then something that kind of looks good with all these crazy layers. That could be fun. I have a lot of fonts also just downloaded in general, so it can be really hard to like decide on one. Come on. Ooh, okay, so we're gonna put the grunge on top of the text. That's going to look a lot cooler as well. Okay. I like this kind of centered look. Liked them. So we'll start it when the light flashes. We'll get the timing right here, and then we can do like some quick transitions between the text, but I don't want it to be distracting. Like, so strangled by an octopus. Next one. Yeah, I don't know what they did, but they broke their text, or I've text aspect. Strangled by an octopus. Get that nice and centered. Strangled by an octopus. By a shark. The whole theme of Hades 2 is water and underwater creatures. No, it's just one of the floors. So without, I guess, spoiling too much, yeah, this is one boss fight music that you might hear. Bitten by a shark. Yeah, I would say the theme of the game is time, which isn't really too much of a spoiler. But the levels are a little different, and yeah, it's a fantastic early access game. Stung by a jellyfish. And stung by a jellyfish. By a jellyfish. Poked by an urchin. By an urchin. By an urchin. Stabbed by a marlin. By a sunfish. Crushed by Charybdis. I gotta figure out how to spell Charybdis here. Charybdis. Okay. Charybdis. Sliced by a sturgeon? Sliced by a sturgeon. Like a sturgeon. This is such a hard section. Clobbered by a carp. And we're almost at the end. Smacked by a poisoned by a scuffer. I may have to Google that one real quick. All right, we are almost at the end here too, so I'm very excited. Okay, I am gonna claw. There we go. Soft. I got all of them. Sharp and not a carp. Right here. Clobbered by a sharp. Excuse me. Poisoned by a scuffer. Okay. Slavig. Burned by a Slavig. Okay. And I'm gonna change that and to just cut to and then we'll get like a flash something. Is this a claw? That'll work. Okay. You out. Oh, you know what? Let's change our layout back. Okay, and then yeah, I want to get these rainbow back. Look at our video, it's almost ready. Let's put the flash here. We can put this back as a scene, maybe like 50%. And then we can cut back to like some grunginess. even this, I'm like... I never know what to do with this one in particular. And when you hear that gatum, I really want to have something going on there. But we have some effects. Yeah, one of those light things. And we'll do it during the tom fill. Did this thing just like give up on? Ah, I see. So this is the point where I think... Let's see if I can reverse it. At this point, there should be also some effect, so... Then we can add that blue light from the verses. I think that would be mellow enough for this like bridge section. And then we've got to have like a ramp up for that, because that's like the big near finish. Perfect. No worries. Welcome back. We are just about at the near end of all these effects, and then we get to render it out. And it'll come out probably next week, maybe Monday. Okay, so we're gonna have... last year. Yeah, I don't know exactly what I want out of Also, it's gotten darker. That's kind of fun. We haven't used claws. We're just gonna copy the same chorus stuff again. So, I don't want any of the stuff. Like, it is more Hades style to do that. I just not really inspired. Alright, let's try. Okay, and now we just need to copy the last chorus that we. Something. 8:27. Yeah, I used to live on the East Coast almost my entire life. But it's gonna stay light out here until 9. I just don't have the windows open. And normally I'd add a lot more camera effects and for the transitions, but yeah, why don't we like accept some flaws? Have you been playing Hades 2? Not super recently, but I played through a lot of the early access when it released last month, but I was moving across the country and really busy, so I kind of put it aside after getting pretty far. And my wife Allison, who's of course singing this song, she definitely got a lot farther along. I recently beat the Paper Mario Thousand Year Door remake. So, if I get some more game time in, I might go back to Hades 2. I don't think that timing. Sometimes I am to. And yeah, the timing here is a little off. So I take out some of these claws. Ah, sure. Thank you. I've been doing pretty good as far as things can go. We're settling into a new area, so difficult and more exciting. I hope you're well. Let's see. Set that. I'm matching a lot of these hits. So close to the finish line. Quick. Let's switch. That stuff, and then we're gonna add some more exciting. You know, what's kind of cool is if you have footage that you like, but it's just not fast or engaging enough, speed it. So let's go back to that finale. So important. And go speed up to like 300%. And I wonder if we can do. Yeah, I kind of like this one. It's much more like dangerous for your eyeballs, but exciting to look at. Like 12. We're gonna speed that up too. So let's go 300%. And here we just add one more flash, and I think that'll do it, honestly. There. Computer's just like, oh. Oh, I think we're still streaming, but my computer just completely flickered, so that was fun. Maybe editing 4K music videos is a mistake. Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. I didn't expect any of that. And it's funny because, like, if I really wanted to, I could, like, mask out the heart and just zoom into it or something and cut to the next shot. But last frame, so. Here, let's see if I can do something. Zoom into it. Like a transition out of the heart. That's a new keto back. I just wanted. Okay. Let's see how that works. Literally just told it to zoom forward. What does it do by default? It zooms. I don't know why the presets all got messy in this. Yeah. Booyah. Okay, cool. Wonderful. Now we get to my end slate, and we're out of here. 3 minutes, 48 seconds. You take a still of that, make an edit with scribbles or something. Yeah, see, like, that's the kind of, like, creative brain jogging stuff I'm trying to do. Oh, boy. Okay, I'm not sure what's happening in terms of, like, spikes with my CPU here, but, yeah, so this is pretty much the process from start to finish, all within 2 hours 40 minutes. So it's not a quick stream by any means, and this is still like the amount of time I would put to an edit. And if we want to see kind of like what the final grade and all that stuff looks like too, I can quickly flip that on as I muse on here. But yeah, for folks watching, and of course for VOD, I've been wanting to like share a little bit more of my process and do more Q&A so that folks who are working on music videos have an opportunity to kind of think about it more and get some new ideas or just figure out technical issues and chat about that. So yeah, this was really fun. We were done, and I was explaining a lot of steps along the way. We were done in an hour with basic cuts. So getting folks familiar with ways to edit their videos, like the basic cutting and stuff really quickly, I think is really important to me right now. Like getting folks excited about making music videos quicker from that part so they can spend more time on the music or the creative side or whatever, is really fun. So any closing questions about the edit or Hades or anything I'm doing? Otherwise, I'm going to do my usual plugs. I really appreciate folks sticking around, of course. That makes this whole process a lot more fun for sure. And as always, I'll throw in my Discord if you ever have like stuff that want to share or get feedback on. We have the Ro Metal Kitchen Discord there. Some news from me. This video will come out probably Monday because more people will view it then. And then along with that, I'm working on the other popular Hades 2 track, Coral Crown. Allison has to track vocals for that. My Patreons know all of those things. But yeah, the game is fantastic. I really recommend it to folks who enjoyed the first one or just people who are curious. I would say play Hades 1 first, just so you're familiar with the controls and all of that. I haven't beaten whatever the end of the early access is or even like the end rounds. But I've gotten pretty far, and I really love what they've done with it. Other exciting things, of course, I just got announced my band is playing in California. We'll be at Vista, California, playing August 10th at Brew Game Plus, which is going to be really fun. We have a little bit of a new band for West Coast than MagFest. So I'm excited for that. Special set. I still have one show I can't talk about quite yet that I'm hoping to pull off, and I'll share news about that one soon. And yeah, taking video editing commissions in the meantime while I'm working on music. Got Lugia's theme from Pokemon 2000 cover coming out soon. I'm looking for places to film around me for that. Special guest for that. I got a Sonic Adventure project that I'm going to be doing with another in-person collaboration. So a lot of really exciting experimental stuff and a lot of like music stuff that I'm trying to get as high quality as possible. And my original song, Monsoon, will be coming out very, very soon. I'm not local to SoCal. I'll be flying down. I just moved to the Seattle area, but we're performing at Brew Game Plus, so we'll be in California for that, and hoping I'll play, at other events there. Not this year for Mag West, but it would be awesome to play there maybe next year, especially since I'm West Coast now. But yeah, so hoping to do some of that, working on some maybe virtual shows in the meantime. And just different exciting things like that. So, yeah, just eager to kind of see what I can do now that I'm in a new area and all. Vista's close to you. Well, if you're interested in seeing a lot of groups perform on Brew Game Plus, that's going to be happening. Also, that's a really good example of color grade that I don't like. I don't like having the text much. Yeah, I don't know too much about it myself, but we're going to be planning like a very fun prog rock, maybe punkier sort of set. Jesus, let's see if we can dial that back. This scene looks really fun, but it's also like a little weird. It looks like too many effects are going on for me. And I didn't mean for that low. But in any case, that's all my plugs for now. Stay tuned on YouTube. I've been releasing a lot of stuff without too much breaks anyway. So my VGM con set is up, and Final Fantasy main theme is there. And I'm looking forward to maybe taking in a few more requests. I'm looking for like more popular stuff that I can just kind of throw together and stream and show how it's made just as much as. Have a great evening. Happy Saturday, everybody. And I look forward to